Welcome back to Forte and Goal, folks. Today, I'd like to talk about something that we witnessed, and I think a lot of people witnessed because it was prime time. I say prime time, Sunday night game, with the Dallas Cowboys absolutely massacring the Washington football team, the WFT or the WTF, however you want to look at it. Just saying. It's funny because I've got friends that are fans of the Washington team, and I feel for them, because this is an embarrassing loss. There's some good players on that team. There's definitely some, great character within that building. But we've all gone through it. We've all, if you've played the game, you've been massacred, or embarrassed in some way, shape, or form during the course of a contest. So it's not the first time, we don't see it too often in the NFL, and I think that's one of the reasons why, it became such a hot topic. But the other reason is because of that altercation on the sideline. And what's really crazy about it is, first of all, these are two of their best players, and on top of that, these guys are, I think, former teammates at Alabama and good friends. So they must have really got frustrated. Really got frustrated to go at it against each other. It's even more bizarre. So yeah, there was a lot that went into this game. As a Cowboy fan, I'm proud of what the Cowboys did. Yeah, I know it's not the strongest team in the world. I know that they had some people out, like every team does. The Cowboys didn't have Tyron Smith, for example, but it's still an NFL team, and you anytime you beat an NFL team, I don't care who it is, you should be happy. Look at last week, for example. The Texans beat the Chargers. The Texans are in principle, one of the worst teams in the league, and they pretty much embarrassed the Chargers. And the Chargers are a playoff contender. Whether they make it or not, I don't know. But, just think about that, Davis Mills, their quarterback, I think played a little bit better than Herbert did. So, give that some thought. Think about that. Anytime you beat an NFL team, I don't care who they are, you still have to pat yourself on the back. So, with that being said, I really just wanted to talk a little bit about the Cowboys team, what they accomplished with this win, and what does it mean to the Cowboys going forward. Okay, so this is week 16 that we're talking about, and coming into this game, the Cowboys' offense was in a little bit of a slump. Now, they were winning games, but people said, oh, you're winning ugly. Oh, the offense is concerning me. Dak is in a slump. The play calling hasn't been good. Zeke's not running well, and so on and so on. Well, Zeke was healthier in this game. Let's start with that. Zeke was healthier in this game. He's not 100%. He's still wearing the brace. But he was healthier and he looked healthier. When you talk about Dak, look, this is a guy who can throw up 400 yards in a game, which he's done numerous times, many times, and really not blink an eye. He's got the ability. He's got the weapons. He's got a good coordinator. He can put up 400 yards. That's not a problem. Or 300 yards. And let me see. I think he came very close to 500 yards, or did 500 yards one day. Or excuse me, not one day. I think it was twice, and it was last season, I believe it was. So I don't think people should be doubting Dak's ability, or even regression or anything of that sort, because he's proven time after time that he can bounce back from pretty much anything. And we know about some of the off the field things. I won't go into that, but Dak's shown tons of character, and this is the reason why he's so loved by so many people, not just Cowboy fans. Now, Looking at this game, I mean, the Washington football team, has some really good talent on that defensive side, and a lot of people expected them to be a real force to propel that team back to possibly a division title or at least the playoffs. And they had a little bit of momentum of their own. People forget that this team had momentum coming into the game. The Cowboys completely snuffed that out. They completely snuffed it out. People forget this, that they came into the game with momentum. So the game was significant in that regard. I mean, there's a divisional opponent. They take away their momentum. They do it in an emphatic fashion. They get their groove back as far as their offense is concerned, which I think is important because you need momentum, you need confidence, you need to figure out a few things, get those kind of things out of the way so that you can, know what's working and what's not going into the playoffs. And I would say that the Cowboys, answered the bell, answered the critics. You don't hear people, after this game, people aren't talking about the offense for the Cowboys. On the defensive side, and this is what's beautiful about this game, is that the offense played well, the defense played well, even the special teams played well. So on the offensive side, we already talked about the offensive side. The defensive side, I mean, they did it again. They totally annihilated that Washington offense. They didn't allow them to really get much going. They were able to run a little bit. I've got some stats I'm going to call upon. So here's interesting stats, okay, for the game. Tyler Heineke was 7 of 22. His completion percentage was only 31.8. He finished with 121 yards, and his yards per attempt was 5.5. A little bit later, Kyler Allen, whatever, the second string guy, came in. He was 8 of 10. He had a completion percentage of 80%. He had 67 total yards for 6.7 average yard per attempt. I forgot to mention Heineke threw 2 interceptions, was sacked 4 times. Finished with a quarterback rating of 28.8, and Allen finished with 127 for a passer rating. Now, Dak Prescott was 28 of 39, had a 71.8% completion. He had 330 yards, 8.5 average, 4 TDs, 0 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Cooper Rush came in. He was 2 of 3, 66.7 completion percentage, 70 total yards, 23.3 was his average yard per pass. One of those passes was super long to Malik Turner, who turned a small gain into a huge gain. So let's not look into those numbers too much. Like I said, a lot of that came on that one pass to Malik Turner. But I did say they had a little bit of success on the ground. Patterson had 33 yards on 9 attempts. Gibson had 29 yards on 6 attempts. The receiver, Damani Carter, had 1 rush for 15 yards. And then Williams had 9 yards on 3 attempts. The Cowboys' rushing wasn't spectacular, but I mean very efficient. Elliott had 9 rushes for 37 yards, 4.1 average. Tony Pollard, 8 rushes, 34 yards, 4.3 average. Dak ran 4 times for 21 yards and 5.3 average. And then Corey Clement, 4 rushes, 18 yards, 4.5 average. So all in all, pretty efficient kind of a run game by the Cowboys. On the receiving side, Damani Brown had 2 catches for 53 yards, and McLaurin had 3 for 40. And on the Cowboys side, I mean, the ball was spread around in a big way. Everybody was basically going off. Amari Cooper had 7 catches for 85 yards. Dalton Schultz, 8 catches for 82 yards. Both had a TD, by the way. Malik Turner, 3 catches, 82 yards, TD. CeeDee Lamb, 4 catches, 66 yards. And Michael Gallup had 2 catches, 53 yards. And Tony Pollard, Cedric Wilson, Ezekiel Elliott, even Terrence Steele had a touchdown pass. And Elliott had a TD pass as well. So this is pretty much what you got in terms of the production, the offense. The scoring went as such. 21 in the first quarter for the Cowboys, 21 in the second quarter for the Cowboys, 7 in the third quarter, 7 in the fourth quarter. Very, very good performance. Meanwhile, Washington had 1 touchdown in the second quarter, and they got a garbage touchdown in the fourth quarter. And that's pretty much the numbers. Cowboys had 4 sacks. They got 1 by DeMarcus Lawrence, interceptions. 1 by DeMarcus Lawrence that went for a touchdown, 1 by Trayvon Diggs. As far as sacks go, DeMarcus Lawrence also got a sack. Javon Curse got 1. Dorrance Armstrong got 1. Micah Parsons got 1. And Terrell Basham had a half sack. So pretty good by the Cowboys. Deron Payne had 1 sack for the Washington team. So did Harris. Don't know his first name. I didn't know which one it is. And Ioannidis got a sack as well. So those are the box scores. So you have an idea of what the game looked like. But from a more important standpoint, the important thing about this game to take away is that if this is an all-around performance by the Cowboys, and if this is what the Cowboys can be when they play a good game, a solid game, I almost forgot to mention the special teams, by the way. They got another block punt for a touchdown. Now, in almost, I would say, I have to double-check the stats, but they have had so many block punts, and this time for a touchdown, I think we're leading the league. It looks like they're getting one of these block punts every game right now. So, like I said, if we can take away from this that this is what the Cowboys can look like when they play solid football, mistake-free football, Cowboy football, at least the 2021 Cowboy football. If this is what these guys are, we're going to be a very, very tough team to beat. And I think we're a legit Super Bowl contender. So that's my message. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I look forward to putting out some more of these, these kind of views, these takes. And, I know I'll get some hate because there are a lot of people that don't like the Cowboys. Just like the video I did with the GOAT, Tom Brady, the so-called GOAT. I know I'll get a lot of hate for the people that watch that video, because there are tons of people that just believe in Tom Brady being the GOAT, and it's really all based on the Super Bowl rings. But I'm sorry, if you dig deep and you look at the stats, that status, that title is not deserved. Look at the games. You'll see he was bailed out by defenses and bad calls many, many times. Anyway, that's another subject. I'll leave it with the Cowboys looking great and going into the Cardinals game. By the way, this is really an interesting matchup because the Cardinals are coming in there devoid of momentum, having lost 3 straight, and the Cowboys, meanwhile, have won 4 straight. Cowboys are playing with a lot of confidence right now. They're at home. I think you guys know where this is going. So we'll talk more about predictions in my predictions video. That's all I've got. Signing out. Happy New Year. Frohes neues Jahr und guten Rutsch. Yes. Gonna get my German correct. Anyway, guys, ciao. Talk to you later. Like, subscribe. Ciao.